Welcome back. So 21 years ago, an RAF Chinook helicopter crashed on the Mull of Kintyre, killing 4 crew and 25 passengers.
Remarkably, all these years later, the families are still waiting for answers as to why the disaster happened, and they want the Ministry of Defence to release documents which have been sealed for 100 years.
So let's speak now to the son of one of the victims of the 1994 Mull of Kintyre Chinook crash, Andy Tobias. Morning, Andy. I'm ashamed to say that I hadn't heard about this story until it came across my desk. How difficult is it for you to get this story out there still, and why? Just explain to our viewers why we haven't heard about it.
Yeah, I mean, these documents have been locked and sealed away for 100 years, and we as families only found out on a BBC documentary about a year ago that they had been locked away for that period of time, and it's a grotesque period of time with no clarity as to why, and all it suggests is the huge amount of suspicion regarding what's in those documents. So for us as a campaign group, we're really now looking to get access to those documents so we can look and see what's in them. And my guess is a lot of people don't know about it because the Ministry of Defence don't want you to.
And it suits them. The helicopter had come from Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland was still in the grip of the Troubles.
Correct.
And there were people on board, I think, who perhaps worked for MI5, MI6, involved in intelligence work. Do you think that is something to do with why there's so much secrecy?
There's a strong possibility on that, but you're talking to the son of a dead father, and from my perspective, I want the truth. And I feel like the government is not giving us the transparency that we deserve. They have made a big campaign about duty of candour and trying to introduce the Hillsborough Law, which is all about giving you access and truth and transparency, and we're not getting it. So that's really what we're fighting for.
We've had this with the post office, the infected scandal.
Correct.
This seems to be fitting into the same category.
Completely. And if you look at the post office, it was all to do with software, the Horizon software. If you're looking at this case, it was software also that had been recently introduced into the new Chinook Mark II. And that software was described as positively dangerous by the test engineers from the Ministry of Defence before the crash took place. So their own engineers were informing them that this Chinook Mark II was not safe for flight. And in our view and their view, it should never have been airworthy.
So it might not be anything as sinister as that there were people on that plane perhaps who knew things that needed to be disposed of. That's one theory. The other theory just being that it was just corporate manslaughter, that the equipment wasn't fit for purpose.
And if people listening on the radio, we've just got still photographs of the wreckage. It was smashed to pieces, the helicopter.
It was smashed to pieces. There was not a lot of evidence to go by with the team that were investigating it at that point in time. But we know, we have documents which are on our website, which is on chinookjusticecampaign.co.uk, which actually confirm that the Ministry of Defence knew pre and post the flight that there were continuous issues with the Chinook Mark IIs. So, you know, why let it fly?
It had been declared unairworthy, hadn't it?
It had been declared unairworthy by these engineers who said that nobody should be flying on these.
What's the impact been on your poor mother and you and your brother since 1994?
Yeah, it's a huge impact. You know, losing your father at such a young age. I was 8, my brother was 10.
How old was your dad?
My dad was 41.
So a young man.
Young man. I'm 39 now, so I'm close to his age.
Yeah.
So the impact was huge for us, and you know, not having a father to direct you through life, take you to your first football games, it's been impacting me and my brother. But
that's the one impact of kind of the grief. But I mean, as much as that is the impact on not having any answers or any sort of explanation, or perhaps even compensation. I think the families were compensated financially, weren't you? But that isn't what you're looking for now.
No, the agenda is not about compensation. It's all about truth and transparency. And we're finding that the Ministry of Defence have been quite deceitful by not sharing these documents with the families and giving us access to this information.
It's really disturbing, isn't it? Because your dad, everybody on board that helicopter, representing Queen and country, willing to fight for Queen and country, and yet you cannot get simple, basic answers about why that unairworthy helicopter was in the air and crashed to smithereens. No survivors.
Yeah, I mean, my father died in service of his country. You know, he put his life on the line along with everybody else on that helicopter to keep you, me and everybody else here in this country safe. And the fact that the Ministry of Defence is not prepared to even release documents to give us families access to know what's in them is nothing short of
Well, let me
disgraceful.
just tell you what they do say, because I'd be interested in your response to this. The Ministry of Defence say the Mull-of-Kintyre crash was a tragic accident. Our thoughts and sympathies remain with the families, friends and colleagues of all who's died.
They always say that.
The closed records held at the National Archives contained personal information relating to third-party individuals, and the early release of that information would breach their data rights. We've received a pre-action protocol letter from the Chinook Justice Campaign and are considering our response. What's your response to that?
I mean, documentation can be redacted. If it's about personal PII-related information, you can redact that. I'm not looking to actually look at the documents myself. I want somebody qualified to review those and advise us. So, I just think it's a nonsense response.
And before we let you go, Andy, have you got politicians taking up the cudgels on your behalf?
We are campaigning. We have reached out to the likes of David Davis. We listened to a podcast where George Osborne had confirmed that Liam Fox even believes that the Chinook aircraft was not airworthy.
He's the former Defence Secretary.
He was the Defence Secretary at the last inquiry. That was back in 2011, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
But just we as families are united, we're strong, we're defiant, and for us, justice has no expiry date, and that's what we're really pushing for.
Okay.
Well, look, best of luck with the campaign, and we're going to keep in touch with you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you so
Tobias.
much. Interesting. Right, up next, we've got some...